Hi, good evening, friends. Very excited to start this live session. Waiting for all of you all to join. Yeah, hi. Hi, Anmol. Looking forward to all of you guys joining me on a Friday evening. Hi, Ganesh. Good evening. Good evening, Ganesh. Where are you from, Ganesh? Please tell me where are you from? I'm doing fine, Julie. Thank you so much for joining in. Hi, Ramki. How are you? We'll start at 7:30. We're just waiting for 2 more minutes. Oh, Ganesh, you're from Pune. That's nice to know. Hi, Ankura. How are you? Nice interacting with all of you, whether it's a virtual meet, physical meet, but a meet is a meet. It's always a good feeling, especially in a live session like this. Where are you from, Ankura? And how about you? Rekha, hi, good evening, Rekha. Rekha's from my team. Hi, Farooq. Wow, you're from Pakistan. Love you, Farooq. Hi, Suman. Good evening. Hi, Sujoy. Love from West Bengal. Okay. Are you from Kolkata, Sujoy? Nice seeing all of you here. Hi, Basit. You're from Kashmir. Oh, all right. We also have a team member from that part of town. Excited to do this session today and thank you so much for all of you. Hi, Arshad. Good evening. Hi, Praveen Kumar. Good evening. So nice to see you. Hi, Ankura. You're from Bareilly, is it? UP. Great. Hi, Mayur. Nice to see that there is a good spread of people joining all over India and even outside India. Hi, Suman. Ramki, you're from Bangalore. Thank you. Hi, Shiva. Hi, Shiva. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. It's really a good opportunity for me, and I'm grateful to God that I get this opportunity to add value to people's life. Hi, Tux. Hi, Suman. Oh, you're from Bangladesh. Wow. Hi, Akshay. All right. So it's 7:30 as people keep joining in. I would like to start on time, and I'm really very excited. Thank you so much for all of you joining in. Hi, Shekhar. Nice seeing you. Nice seeing you. I'm so excited to share this session today on personal branding because this is something which is very close to my heart. And personal branding is something we are starting right now because it's 7:30. Personal branding is something which is so essential for all of us. Most of the times, people, when I coach them, they do ask me, "Do you coach on personal branding?" Yes, I do. And personal branding is, I think, one of the most essential tools that you can use to propel your career growth. Certainly. And you know what? What is the interesting thing about personal branding? That all of us already have a personal brand, whether we have developed for it or no. Hi Vaibhav, hi Pomel, please welcome all of you. I've just started, and I'm discussing about personal branding's importance. You know, personal branding is something which all of us already have. The funny part is that we don't know about it. Why? Because we have consciously not developed it. Because what's a personal brand? It's something where you are perceived by others in a particular manner. And that's because of your actions, your words, your communication skills, your habits, your behavior, your values, which all get reflected outside. So most of the times people feel that, do I need to develop a personal brand? You already are a personal brand. You already have a personal brand. But the game changer or the difference is when you have consciously developed your personal brand and consciously developed with an objective of propelling your career growth, with an objective of ensuring that you add value to people's lives. And when you're conscious about it, then your personal brand becomes very powerful. And that is when it starts drawing people towards you. And that is where you are genuinely going to add value to people's lives. That's essential. So the game changer is always when you develop your personal brand consciously. Here also many people ask me that if I have to develop my own personal brand, does it mean that I have to change myself, I have to lose my authentic self? Not at all. Why should you lose your authentic self? There's no need for you to lose your authentic self. You can be your same genuine authentic self. At the same time, you can capitalize on your strengths to propel your personal brand. Somebody asked me that, I am a kind of a person who does not talk much. I like to remain with myself. I don't mix around much with people, but I'm good at my work. Perfect. Do not disturb your personal brand in terms of your authenticity or the way you are. If you like to be with your own self and if you're just happy with that, there are so many strengths that you have when you are with your own self. There are many people who who are not very outgoing, but they are so good at research, they are so good at analysis, they are so good at insightfulness, they are so good at writing, communication skills, they are fantastic. Now, these are all the traits and the plus points which you can capitalize upon. And you can enhance your personal brand, keeping your authenticity still the same. So there is no need for you to change. But at the same time, there is a huge opportunity if you can capitalize on your personal brand and market it to the target audience that you're seeking. It could be employers, your existing employer. It could be your teammates. It could be your stakeholders. It could be your clients. Or it could be even prospective employers. Once you have a powerful personal brand, you will see the impact it has. You will see that employers get drawn to you, your teammates get drawn to you, your stakeholders, clients respond to you positively, and you are also having a set of direction when you take every step, when your personal brand is very, very strong. So it's important that we do develop a personal brand without changing our authentic self. Now, personal brand primarily is a difference between a commodity and a brand. What's a commodity? Let me explain to you. A commodity is something which is primarily based or sells on price. It's just a commodity. If the price is less, that commodity sells. But as far as a brand is concerned, it always depends on the kind of unique value that the brand brings in. And when the brand brings in this unique value, what is it that it's communicating? Because that uniqueness is something which makes you a brand. Otherwise, we remain a commodity, then even a negotiation, even if you're changing a job or even if you're being employed by some employer and you're being given a raise, if your personal brand is not very strongly communicated, you will find yourself not in a very strong position to achieve so many things in your career. You can propel your growth with this. So one is commodity versus brand. So our aim should be that we should not fall in that commodity category. We must have a uniqueness in terms of our own branding. That's very essential because that is something which will really create the difference. And why is it important to have a personal brand? Why should you have a personal brand? And why should you do that branding yourself? It should be to differentiate you. Because as I said, if it's a commodity, then we are only based on if the price is low, I will buy it. But the moment you start getting the branding element in that, you will realize that you can differentiate yourself. Differentiate yourself for the employers, for your clients, for your stakeholders, everybody, whoever you interact with, prospective employers also. Otherwise, you will remain a commodity. If the personal branding is not very strong, then employers always have this thing in the mind that will he really deliver results? Will he fit into my work culture? Is it worth hiring? Is it worth promoting? While there are many other elements to a career success, I am emphasizing a personal brand as one single element, which is a part of the mix of the marketing that you have to do for your own candidature. Whether it is your existing employer, whether it's your existing clients, stakeholders, or whether it's prospective employers. But personal branding will differentiate you because of the value that you have. So, in one line, if I had to say what is or how do you define a personal brand, it is the value that you create for the employer. It is the value that you create for the employer, or it is for your client, or it is for your stakeholder. What's the kind of value that you're creating? That should define your personal brand. And remember one thing, that you are a personal brand in terms of, if your employers have to look at it, you have to change your own thinking from being an employee to being a business partner or a business consultant to your employer. Anybody who you're wanting to interact with and want to present your personal brand, think of yourself as a business partner. Don't think of yourself either as an employee of your employer, or if it is a client, that you are a person who's servicing as either a project manager or a head in charge servicing a stakeholder client. Don't think of yourself like that. Think of yourself as a partner. The moment you start thinking of yourself as a partner, you start thinking of your own uniqueness and your problem solving ability. The moment you do that, automatically the relationship changes, because you are seeing yourself as a business partner rather than just a mere employee. If it is with the employer is also your client. Consider the employer to be your client and you being a business consultant to them, solving their problems. Your leaders also have problems. Every job has a pain. So you got to ensure that what is the kind of pain I'm solving and what is the solution I'm offering. You know, one of the best definitions I have come across, which was given for a personal brand, is by the CEO of Amazon, who's Jeff Bezos. He says that your personal brand is what others say about you when you are not in the room. Your personal brand is what others say about you when you are not in the room. That means what people feel about you. How do you make people feel? And you make them feel X or Y on the basis of your behavior, your communication, the way you come across, your habits. So many things make another person feel that, okay, this person is, say, a good communicator, or this person is a go-to person for research. Something that comes in their mind when they have seen you consistently perform and consistently communicate that, and that's when your personal brand starts getting stronger. It's important to have that positioning in the minds of your stakeholders. Very, very important. So let me also help you how you can develop your personal brand. I'll give you 8 steps which you can use to develop your personal brand step by step. Step number 1, what is the value that you get to the table? What is the value that you're getting? What is your area of expertise? What are you good at? Are you good at research? Are you good at insightfulness? Are you good at saving money? Are you good at increasing revenues? Are you good at turnaround time? Can you save money for the company? Yes, if you can, that's your expertise. You're from the finance background. Say, that's the value that you get. So what is the value that you get is the step number 1. You got to write it down, that this is the value I get. Just take down these 8 steps mentally or however. At the end of that, you will be able to define your own personal brand. So I save money for the company. I can get you insights for the company. I can get you as a project manager delivered in a deadline which is beaten 100%. That's my positioning. These kind of things will help you define what is the kind of value you get. Second, what is the pain point that you solve? Remember, every job role, every business has a pain point, and we are all here to solve pain. So as an employee, When you are, as I said, you have got to think of yourself as a business consultant who's partnered with the employer or with the client. Your job is basically to solve pain. And if you're solving pain, what is that pain? Is it that the company is facing a stiff budget and a timeline, but at the same time project is very prestigious and consistently they want to deliver the project on time? That's a pain. Can you solve that pain? If that's your area of expertise as a project manager, in a particular niche, maybe in that project management, you are very good. What is the pain that you can solve? So one, what is the value you get? Second, what is the pain you can solve? See, these are all elements which will help you define your personal brand. You have to differentiate yourself. Let us not be a commodity. Let us know what we are good at. So when people think of us, we become the go-to person for that. That is essential. Step number 3. What are the rules of engagement and what are your belief systems? See, whatever we are getting reflected outside is something who we are inside. How I am inside, I get reflected outside. If I am authentic and genuine, that's the way I am. And if you are whatever is your belief, if your belief is that you got to be very disciplined, for example, or if your belief is that I ensure that my teams, means I'm saying as a leader, suppose, I ensure that my teams have to work in a very, very system and process oriented manner, and that's my belief system. If that's your belief system, it will define your behavior, your habit, and that's how it will get communicated. And no harm in having your belief systems in place. It's only that we need to be aware of it, that is your belief system or any of the traits that are forming your personal brand, are they propelling your career growth or are they harming your career growth? Harming it will happen only if you are not aware of a particular area which needs to be improved, which is again related to your domain skill sets and your interactions with the stakeholders, but you're not aware of it and you're not improving. That's when your personal brand will start getting diluted. That is the part we must not allow that to happen. That's why the exercise you got to do, ensure that you can develop your own personal brand. So step number 1, the value you get. Step number 2, what pain you solve. Step number 3, what are the beliefs and what are the rules of engagement that you follow at your workplace? How do you behave? What are those beliefs that actually get outwardly reflected? That is important. 4th, what are your top brand attributes? How do people define you? Some 3-4 adjectives. Do they define you as resilient? Do they define you as persevering? Do they define you as an out-of-the-box thinker? What is that adjective that you get defined for and you feel proud that yes, I am very insightful. I can do very good research. I can get into detailing of the things and analyze and infer things. I'm very good at that. Suppose that's your strength. So you got to bring about that, which is something which are your top brand attributes, and those adjectives: very persevering, out of the box thinker, good mentor. These are all adjectives. Write down those objectives which will help you define your brand statement. What is your personal brand statement? 5th, what is your unique value, unique skills that you get? Something which is related to a skill. A skill like, again I'm saying analysis, a skill like communication skills, a skill like being able to present to your stakeholders, a skill like being able to complete a project in a very system oriented and process oriented manner, so that you feel that there is a process that I have developed and that system and process will ensure that I complete the project on time. If that's your strength, your unique value, bring that up. So what is that unique value that you get in your domain and with your skill sets? Please write that down. These are all elements which will define your personal brand. 6th is getting feedback from others. See, we know ourselves and we do feel that there is self-awareness in us and we know ourselves, but at the same time it's also important to vet it out. Getting feedback from people who have genuine interest for you or growth in mind is the ones who you should ask for. It could be your clients, select few clients, some stakeholders, some of your bosses, some of your team members, We as leaders have to be very open to feedback, because the more you will get feedback, but in a structured way, you will get feedback. You will know whether your own assessment that you have is really matching with the feedback that people have. And that is what your personal brand is, how you are perceived by others, whether it is in line with what your genuine strengths are. If that is not, then we can do a course correction. And again, I'm emphasizing we do not have to change ourselves, but we do need to capitalize on what is our strength and communicate that or market that very effectively. That's how you develop a personal brand. You will start realizing that there is a lot of draw there. Lot of draw you will get. Tell me, I've just told you about 6 points right now. If you can tell me in the comments right now, just say how many of you really have consciously developed your personal brand. Just say yes or no, or you can write Y or N. Just write, let me just see in the comments below. Just write yes or no, or write Y or N. Let me just see. Please write in the comment whether you have consciously developed your personal brand or no. Okay, very good. Venkata has done that. Excellent. Shekhar has done that. I know, Shekhar, you have been excellent at personal branding. Fantastic. Mohammed also. Mukund also. Shashank says no. James, no. Nazia says no. Ganesh says yes. Mayur is saying no. Ravi is saying no. All right. So there are more no's than yes, but at the same time, I'm happy that there are people who realize what their personal brand is. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you, Subbu. Thank you for this response. But it's important to realize that you can develop your own personal brand, and it does draw a lot of benefits and advantages. So getting feedback from others is important. See whether it is aligned with what you think about it. And the 8th step is doing a SWOT analysis. Very essential, a strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. Thank you so much, Mamta. Thank you, Ashwina. Thank you, everybody. So if you have your strengths, weakness, opportunity, and threat really written down, see that these are my strengths. These are areas that I need to improve upon. I don't like to call it weaknesses. I always say these are areas of improvement which all of us have. So if you have those areas, you know that, okay, all right, this is something which you will be able to improve upon. And then there are opportunities that are existing which you can capitalize on. If those opportunities you can capitalize on because of your strengths, you are aligning it to your career growth. And then there are threats. So do this exercise as the 8th step of a SWOT analysis and write down all your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And on the basis of this, write down your personal brand statement which is aligned to your career objective. Because it has to be in line, assuming 1 year down the line, you have a career objective of handling this kind of a role. Forget the designation, forget that, but that kind of a role which is very fulfilling for you and that's your aim, then your personal brand according to that role needs to be fine-tuned. You need to see what are the kind of skill sets that are required there, what are the kind of traits that are required, what are the attributes that are required, and are you having them? If not, you have them, but can you improve on them? If not, then can you add those? That is essential so that you have a very holistic offering in terms of your own branding when you're talking to employers, existing, prospective, stakeholders, clients, anybody. There are people who are just interacting with investors, and for that their personal branding plays a lot of role. If you're talking to investors, how authentic are you? How credible are you? So are you coming across as that way? Can we improve that? Because there is scope for improvement every time. All right. So you're asking me to repeat my 7th point. That is getting feedback from others. Nazia, what you need to do is ask people who you can trust. Clients, stakeholders, team members, leaders, ex-bosses, some industry veterans. You can ask them to give you a feedback about what they think about you. It's a very simple thing. Just tell them that, can you define me in 3 words? Simple. Don't get it complicated. Nobody has the time to give you that feedback. Just tell them, can you define me in 3 words? See what the definition is and talk to about say 20 people. See whether the feedback is matching with your own assessment. All right, Ravi. So I'm just taking some questions. Please feel free to write. Getting feedback, as I said, it could be a simple thing over WhatsApp. You have interacted with me for the last 5 years. Can you please define me in 3 words? Simple. Get that feedback. Depending on your relationship with the person who you are asking, if there is a very senior leader who you have worked with for a long time, you can always say that, is there any way that you feel I can improve? First of all, ask them, how do they see you? Can you define me in 3 words? Is something which will give you that. Preetham, you are asking, you missed the point number 1. That's the value that you get. What is the value that you get? I'll repeat the points. Let me just repeat the points. What value do you get is the point number 1. What pain do you solve is the point number 2. What beliefs and rules of engagement that you have on work? What are the beliefs that you behave? And what is your thought process? How you behave because of your beliefs? That's 3. 4th, what are your top brand attributes? As I said, 3-4 adjectives which define you. That's 4th. 5th, what is the unique value that you get? What is unique about your skills, your domain expertise? What is it that you get to the table? 6th is feedback from the people. And 8th is SWOT analysis. These are the 8 steps. If you do that and then you write your brand statement, it should be linked to your career objective. That is essential. So your branding statement, personal branding, should be linked to what your career objective is. Please take us through point 3, beliefs and engagement 1. All right. So if I have a belief, as I said, if I have a belief that assuming that there is a belief that I will not move beyond my comfort zone and I will only try only to this extent. I am not a kind of person, assuming, who likes to go beyond the comfort zone because it's painful. If that's my deep-rooted belief, it is going to affect my performance. And that's how people will see me. People will see that, okay, this person is only going to do how much ever he's told. The moment you give him something additional or challenging, this person will not do it. Now, if that is your belief, and if it's deep-rooted, because beliefs are always deep-rooted and they are very difficult to change, you will be seen as that person and the opportunities that will be given to you will be accordingly. So it starts affecting your career because somewhere because of that belief that, I will not move out of my comfort zone and I will do only as much as is comfortable for me, will start affecting your response when your company gives you something additional or challenging, you will not accept it. Slowly over a period of time, if you don't change that, you will get positioned as that and then opportunities don't come to you. So beliefs play a very important role. That's why, I recommend to my coaching clients, whenever I coach them, I tell them to do journaling. Journaling is a beautiful exercise for beliefs. Every day, if you can sit down and write for about 5 to 10 minutes how your day went and what were the emotions that you felt and what were the beliefs behind those emotions, that I did not accept this challenging assignment because I was maybe fearful. That's a belief. And if you can catch those beliefs every day, slowly you will realize that you become more aware and you start changing that because that's for the better. So slowly you start changing your belief system and believe you me, you will feel so fulfilled. You will feel a very, very strong sense in your own self. That's how you change your beliefs also. This is one tool I'm giving you, but that is something which needs to be done. In the current market, what all skills do and experience BA needs to focus on as an opportunity is very limited. See, I can't give you a general answer, but it depends on what your career objective is, depends on what kind of roles you're seeking. Do develop a lot of transferable skills. They are in huge demand. Transferable skills like adaptability, learning agility, communication skills, both written and oral, technology knowledge and being aware of technology and being able to use technology, these are all skills which are transferable. They are very, very important. So whether you are a BA or what, you're skipping from 6th point to 8th. No, I just repeated all the points from 1 to 8, all of them. I think there is some confusion in everybody's mind. I'll quickly repeat all the points. Step number 1 is what value do I bring to the table? Step number 2 is what pain do I solve? Step number 3 is what beliefs and rules of engagement do I have? Step number 4 is what are your top brand attributes, the adjectives, how you define yourself. Step number 5 is what is the unique core skill that you get, unique domain skill. Step number 6 is getting feedback from others, and step number 7 is SWOT analysis. These are the steps that you have to take care of, and then align them to your career objective after you've defined your personal brand. What value do you get? Okay, thank you. Marilyn has already used it. What value do you get? What pain point you are able to solve? What are the belief systems? What are your top 4 attributes? What are your unique skills? Getting feedback from others, SWOT analysis, 7 points. It is 7 points. If I have mentioned 8, sorry, it's my mistake. 7 points. All right. So these are the steps that we got to take care of. Define your personal brand, link it to your career objective, and draw up an action plan. Once you have drawn up an action plan, break it up into a yearly and then break it up into quarterly and monthly and weekly. Rigorous follow-up. Without that, it won't happen. So this is something which I wanted to share with you. I hope you've got some direction in terms of developing your own personal brand. And I thank you once again, each one of you, to have participated here, taken time off to join me in this session. We would be doing such sessions often. Personal branding is something which I would encourage each one of you to really look at it. Once you do your SWOT analysis, so many answers will come out very, very clearly. And if you have developed a personal branding statement, remember to link it or align it to your career objective. That is important. So please do that. And thank you once again for sparing time. I hope you are carrying home some food for thought. I've given you something to think about, which you can go home, and if there is anything, you can always send us a mail on hello@aspirationjobs.com. That mail ID is also mentioned here if you want to reach out to us for anything. But do develop a personal brand, and you will find that your career trajectory will really change. It will start going upwards. Thank you very much. Thank you, friends, once again. Thank you, Vinayak. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. And thank you so much, Ashwini. Wow, Ashwini, you were there. Thank you, Rekha. Thank you. Excellent. I am so grateful that I got this opportunity to share with you some of the insights. And we'll meet again. Thank you, and have a great, great, great weekend. Thank you very much. Till we meet again, thank you and good night.